Alright, if you saw the video that I did yesterday on Pythagorean Theorem, you should have a pretty good idea of what I'm about to do. If you didn't watch it, then I suggest you go and watch it. It's in my Algebra 1 playlist. I suggest you go and watch that because if you don't understand what I did in that video, then you're probably not going to understand what I'm about to do in this video. What I'm going to do in this video, we're going to be doing a Pythagorean Theorem word problem. This is just a basic Pythagorean Theorem word problem that I found on the internet. Now with that being said, let's do a little review. Remember, Pythagorean Theorem deals with right triangles. This is A, this is B, and this is C. It comes in the form of a squared plus b squared equals c squared. It's basically the two legs squared together, added together, equals the hypotenuse. This is the hypotenuse. So, let's get started with our word problem. Alright, I'm sorry you probably can't read that. I'll just read it to you. A 13-foot ladder is placed 5 feet away from a wall. The distance from the ground straight up to the wall is 13 feet. How far does it reach? So what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to draw a picture. So we'll say that this is our wall, this is the ground, and this is the ladder. Let's make it look like a ladder by adding those steps. So that's the wall, that's the ground, and that's the steps. I mean the ladder. So it says that it's 5 feet away from the ground, so we'll put that at 5. That's a 5, by the way. Let me straighten it out. 5. And it says that the ladder is 13 feet going across. So we're trying to figure out how tall the wall is, which is A. So what we want to do is we want to do what we did before. We want to write it into the equation of, sorry about that, a squared plus 5 squared equals 13 squared. Alright. We do that because we just plug in what we have into our equation, Pythagorean equation. Alright, now we must simplify. A squared is simply a squared plus 5 squared is 25, and 13 squared is 169. Now we do this like we would any other equation. We want to get a by itself. How do we get a by itself? We subtract 25 from both sides. Because remember, what you do to one side, you have to do to the other. So we get a squared is equal to 144. And remember, we can never have a variable squared. We have to have it simplified. So we take the square root of everything, and we get a equals 12. So basically what I just did was I plugged in the numbers from the story. I drew a picture, plugged in the numbers from the story into the equation, and then I figured out how tall the wall is. You should be able to do this if you have the equation written out correctly. You could be solving for any side in Pythagorean Theorem word problems. So be careful about what you're trying to figure out. If it's the distance from something, it's probably going to be the hypotenuse or it could be the one of the legs. But I would imagine it would be the hypotenuse because the hypotenuse is diagonal. But it could be B or it could be B or A. But be careful about what you're reading. Like if it says that it's the Earth, the Earth is flat, so it's got to be B. And if it's in height, then you know it's got to be A. If it's in diagonal, it's got to be C. Alright, if you have any questions, comments, you know where to leave them, and have a great day.